For perhaps 1,000 years, man has wondered, can you prepare nachos with a methylacetylene torch? What are nachos? Back in the 1950s, the story goes, or I think it was actually the 1940s, some military wives drove over the border to Mexico for a day trip, and they asked for just a snack. I think the restaurant was closed or out of food or something. And the chef or owner of the restaurant, whose name was Nacho, he just grabbed some fried tortilla chips, he sprinkled some cheese on there, and he melted that with some pickled sliced jalapeno peppers. And that is the traditional nachos. That's how nachos were when I first had them at a Mexican restaurant called Poco Loco in New Haven back in the 1980s. And I still think that that simple recipe, just chips, cheese, and sliced jalapenos, is the best way to prepare nachos. Never had nachos better than those. Those nachos were created in 1985, let's say. That was 45 years after they were first invented. Now here in 2020, we're still another 35 years past then, and it's now become common to serve nachos with salsa, with ground beef, sour cream, refried beans, a whole variety of toppings, which are called loaded nachos. What I have here is just some uncooked nachos. They're just fried tortilla chips, shredded cheese, and a tiny amount of salsa I've put on there, because I didn't happen to have any jalapeno peppers. And I'm going to answer the question, can you cook nachos with a methylacetylene torch? Now, you may be wondering, what is this methylacetylene? It's actually methylacetylene propadiene, which is marked by this yellow canister, which burns in a regular atmosphere at sea level at about 3,700 degrees. That is approximately twice the temperature of the famous broiler at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You can cook steaks with this torch. It works best if you have two of them, so you can really cook quickly, much more quickly than a microwave at 3,700 degrees. And I've cooked sausages with this, but I've never tried nachos before. So let's see what happens when you hit cheese and tortilla chips and salsa with 3,700 degrees. So I've lit the torch here, and I'm trying to melt this cheese. And what I'm finding out is that methylacetylene tends to scorch the cheese without really melting it. I'm trying to get up maybe under the chips to try to just create some heat so that the cheese will melt. And you see that cheese sizzling there. That looks real pretty. But, I was going to say, I lit a chip on fire by accident. I'm getting ready to say here that you don't really want to cook nachos with a methylacetylene torch. But I did learn something interesting, and that is that when you first start and the cheese is loose and it's fluffy, it's loose strands, they immediately scorch under the methylacetylene. But as soon as that cheese melts down onto the chips, it becomes a solid structure, more like a steak, and you actually can make nachos with a methylacetylene torch, but you just have to start very slowly. And you can probably get practiced at it and do better than I've done right now. At first I was going to say you can't make nachos with a methylacetylene torch, but I've changed my mind. These are going to be excellent nachos, and I can't wait to eat them, and that's what I'm going to do. So what we found out is that you can make nachos with a methylacetylene torch. It just takes a little practice, just like everything else in life. Not going to do it your best on the first time, but if you keep doing it, eventually you're going to get it right. These nachos have a tiny toasty flavor, which, like I said, if you develop some practice, you're probably not going to have that problem. And the nice thing is, if I want to add some more cheese on here, some more salsa, and just toast it right up, I can do that right at the table. I don't need a chef. You can see I'm already getting better at kind of getting up under the chips to try to get that warmth down in the middle. And it really is probably the best way to make nachos. Served hot without an oven.